Happy Halloween, everybody. Boy, have I got a surprise for you. You see this behind me? One of the most haunted places in the Niagara area. Let's check it out. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shane's Craft Beer Review. Very excited to do today's video. You guys might remember from 2 years ago for my Halloween episode, I did a little beer called Hopkins Tomb. And that was a homage to another one of the most haunted places in this area, out in Port Colborne, Hopkins Tomb. I did the beer review right in front of Hopkins Tomb. It was kind of fun. So this year I decided to kind of go along that same theme. Over my shoulder here, you will find something called the Screaming Tunnel. This is supposed to be a really, really haunted place. Apparently at some point in time back in the early 1900s, there was a young girl who burnt to death inside this tunnel. There is a cross in the middle of this. It was kind of a makeshift one. I'll throw a little picture of it up here. So basically this girl it's hard to say if it was an accident or if she was murdered in there. The stories vary from where you go. But the one thing all the stories have in common is that a young girl did in fact die inside this tunnel. So today's beer from Blackburn Brewery is also called Screaming Tunnel. This is an amber lager, like I said, from Blackburn Brewery. This is I know it's on here somewhere, there it is, 5% alcohol by volume, 28 IBU amber lager. Really, really awesome. While I'm opening this up and doing my little hard pour here, I will tell you that I did walk through this tunnel back and forth a couple times. I'm shooting a documentary for my uncle about this tunnel because he unfortunately could not make it up here. And it gives you the heebie-jeebies. Now, as you guys know, I do not believe in ghosts at all, but I don't ever go out of my way to try and find a reason for me to start believing in them. This tunnel was maybe a 5 on my, not even a 5, maybe a 4 on my Brady Cat scale. All right, so let's take a look at this beer here. Plastic Spigaloo glass, of course, because I'm outside. But yeah, nice amber color in there. Give it a little nose. Wow, malty sweet caramel toffee. Smells really, really delicious. Let's check this out, guys. Cheers. Wow, there's actually quite a bit of hop flavor in there. Not so much the bitterness, but the hop flavor, which is actually not too bad. Complements it not too badly. Yeah, it's almost got a slightly thin body to it. I would say I'm not getting a whole lot of caramel or that toffee flavor in the taste. I do get it in the aroma, but I am getting that hop flavor. And it's not overly dry, which I find sometimes if you get something that's got a big hop flavor, not so much the bitterness, but the hop flavor, it tends to be a little bit dry on the back end. This is just like a slightly touch dry. I wouldn't even call it dry. But you know what? It's easy to drink. What's it say on the back here? Frightening amounts of flavor, beautiful burnt orange coloring, a strong malty body, and a balanced noble hop backbone make this amber irresistible. Serve best with a chill in your glass and in your spine. Well, let me tell you, when I was in the middle of this tunnel and I was walking past that makeshift cross, and I don't know who put it up there or how long it's been there, but it kind of makes you go, huh, you know what, this is a little creepy. Not too creepy, but a little bit creepy. Anyway, guys, on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm gonna give the Screaming Tunnels Amber Lager, you know what? 3 1/4. The only thing I don't like about this beer is that hop flavor. It isn't bad, but as I have a couple more sips, it's almost kind of getting annoying a little bit. But yeah, you know what? You could drink 1 or 2 of these and not worry too much about it. It's not that bad. So if you guys get a chance and you're down here in the Niagara area, don't forget to look me up and let me know you're in town because we'll go party. But also check out the Blackburn Brewery. They do some really, really great stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Halloween. There are several different variations of the story. As is to be expected over time, legends do change and the stories do change. But it's just a matter of trying to find the truth from the fiction. Out of all of these stories, except for one, they all come to the same conclusion. Somewhere in the middle of this tunnel, a young girl was burned to death and lost her life. Legend has it that if you stand in the middle of this tunnel at midnight and light a wooden match, the match will get blown up by the little girl and you will hear her screams of agony. That's probably why I'm here in the middle of the day. Our story begins here, just south of the Screaming Tunnel. As you can see, a path behind me leads up a hill, and this is where the supposed farmhouse is that this young girl lived in. I did do a little bit of exploring into the forest, into the woods. I did not find a burnt out foundation, although other people have claimed to have found it, but I could not find any information on where exactly that was. But after a little bit of a search, I couldn't find it, but I'm sure somewhere lost in these woods behind me is the old foundation of the house. To the uninitiated, this tunnel behind me looks like an old railway tunnel. That is not what this tunnel was actually for. This tunnel was built in the early 1900s, just before the onset of World War I, as a drainage tunnel. There was a lot of farms in this area, and this tunnel was constructed to get the waters away and keep it from flooding. Right above this tunnel, there's a set of railway tracks that used to connect Niagara Falls to big cities such as Toronto and New York City. Now, over time, this tunnel became a thoroughfare for farmers to get their cattle from one place to another without having to worry about trying to cross over those railway tracks and possibly killing their livestock. Upon first entering this tunnel, even on a warm, sunny October day like I have today, you instantly feel a chill running up and down your spine. It is dark, damp, and the strong smell of sulfur fills the air. As is common for places like this, the walls are adorned with graffiti, mostly from mischievous teenagers or those trying to prove how brave they are to their friends. One of the most unsettling parts is right in the middle of this tunnel. There's a makeshift cross built, supposedly the spot where the young girl burned to death. The simplest version of this story tells the tale of a young girl who lived in a little farmhouse on the south side of this tunnel. Apparently one night her house caught on fire, and as she was trying to escape, her nightgown caught on fire, and she was running trying to find help, came running through this tunnel and unfortunately succumbed to her injuries and died in the middle of the tunnel. Another version of this story tells of the same girl, except for she lived in this little farmhouse with her very abusive alcoholic father. One night, he got extremely mad at her for whatever reason, doused her with gasoline, and took a wooden match and lit her on fire. Obviously, she screamed to try and get away, ran down the hill trying to find help, and unfortunately succumbed to her injuries and died in the middle of this tunnel. Another version of this story, the one I like to refer to as the safe version, tells the story of this family that lives in this farmhouse, and the wife would always be screaming at her husband and her kids, just all the time, be getting really frustrated for whatever reason it happened to be, and sometimes she would just have enough, and she would walk down the hill and stand inside this tunnel and scream at the top of her lungs just to get all out that frustration, and that apparently is the sound that you hear. So that's it, my friends, the Screaming Tunnel. Great place to come for ghost hunters or would-be adventurers and filmmakers. This tunnel was actually featured in the movie The Dead Zone by Stephen King.
We think the killer hid around the corner just out the end of the tunnel there. When the poor girl came through, the bastard was waiting for her. Tell the kids not to come through here, damn it. You know, they like to use this as a shortcut to school.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of the Screaming Tunnel. Come down and visit us here in Niagara and check out this hidden gem just on Warner Road. Cheers.